Hi everyone, welcome to Book of Katherine and the most important video I am going to do all year and just probably ever. Maybe, we'll see. I don't know, we'll see. So, let us talk about the primary vote. Now, if you guys have been watching me for a while or reading my Twitter feed for a while, you'll know that one of the things that I specialize in is strategy, right? So, and I'm talking about strategy of all types. So like just strategy. Like I look at Hollywood and I strategize behind the scenes, and then Wall Street strategized behind the scenes because I love how humans work and psychology and the whole thing. And all of that wraps into just strategy and knowing how to play the game. And it's kind of nice because if you've watched my Twitter feed, you'll see that I've been posting Dinesh D'Souza a lot, which YouTube hid from me. Like I have been just watching conservative videos this year, finally. If you've been following me this last couple of months, I finally peeked on over and I talk about that in my For My Liberals video, and I'll post that right here for my liberals. But this whole time, like, I've been watching these conservative videos, and just now, like, YouTube has finally, like, been like, well, maybe look at this guy. Didn't even know it existed. Didn't know, even through all my research into Hillary Clinton and all of it, and he's done movies on her and everything, Clinton Cash, the whole thing, never said a word. But what's interesting is that he also talks strategy, and it's really nice to see somebody else saying the exact same things that I have been saying, which is pay attention to the game behind the scenes. So I know I'm not the only one saying it anymore, right? He's not saying the same strategies I am, but he's the one saying there is a bigger game going on and we need to be smart and we need to be paying attention, because that's why you can see what's coming ahead. You need to see 3 steps ahead the game. So, I have been trying to figure out, like, we know already that the media is controlled. Like, one of the things that we've been talking about is, like, who controls media. We know that it's controlled by 6 giants, but I've also revealed in my research who controls those 6 giants, and the families and the money behind those 6 giants of those media companies. And I've also revealed to you, like, who controls the DNC and the DNC party. And it turns out that it's all the same, like the whole corporate banking control. It's like the exact, like it's all this very, very small group of people. It's really a very small handful of people. And they all have the exact same political goals. But they're the richest people on earth, and they have the most powerful people on earth. And they're all pushing the same exact agenda. And it's really kind of terrifying because I'm reading the Gulag Archipelago, and the lines are like, whoa, they're like out of the exact same thing. But what's interesting is that, you know, when the press, so it's not surprising that the media, being these guys' mouthpiece, that the media has been having us, you know, be their mouthpiece. It's been trying to, you know, screw with us. But I've been trying to figure out strategy-wise, like, what they've been trying to do. Because I've been seeing all these, like, things going on, and I've been trying to figure out what they've been trying to do for a while now. Like, over the last few months, I've been trying to figure out the game. And I think I finally figured it out. I think I have, and it has to do with our primaries, especially looking at our primary dates. And I think, notice that they have not been telling us that our primaries are going on. And you're probably wondering, like, what's the big deal about our primaries? Because the vote isn't until fall 2018. And this is why. Our GOP, like, we figured out that we need to vote GOP. Like, we figured out the DNC is just gone. But what we haven't figured out, what we haven't even talked about, is the fact that our GOP is completely, like, useless and bought and been doing the exact same thing as the DNC. Now, what they do is they kind of act like they don't do anything, like they make promises. They don't act exactly like the DNC, but what they do is they don't get in the DNC's way. And that way they can say that they're Republican and everything like that. But if you watch the trade table, and I'll try and post it again, like I'll post it right here. If you read between the lines, and I'll try and do a body language on it, but if you listen to what they're saying, they're the guys that made all the trade deals that sent all our wealth to China and all of our wealth over to North Korea. Like, they just gave them all of our trade. And you can see that now that, you know, the POTUS, like, put his foot down, Like in 1 month, just last month, 1 month, $218 billion in tax revenue with the change that he made. Now the GOP is suddenly like, oh, look at everything we just did for you, America. No. Like, that was a very close vote, and it shouldn't have been a close vote. Look at it. There are people, like I believe Susan Murkowski, like I believe she's in Maine or Alaska, like Collins, and notice the media made us think that John McCain was the vote that took down the healthcare bill. Like it was just, they, all over the media, boom, John McCain, boom. What they didn't publicize was that there were two other votes in Maine and Alaska that also tanked it. And then I find this chart, when I dig into it deeper, it turns out that if you look and they're like, here is the more conservative and the less conservative votes. Now let me read into you like what that really means. We don't have a conservative and less conservative like Congress anymore. There is no such thing as conservative and less conservative. There is no such thing as a moderate conservative anymore. There's no such thing as a moderate GOP. Because if they're voting with the Democrats, how are the Democrats voting now? What are they putting forward? They're putting forward the things that go with, we know, that matches like the communist doctrine. Like we know that. We know that they're voting with this like 1%. So we know like they're with the 1%. It's not moderate conservatives, it's DNC. Like, and so you have to look at it as not like, oh, like conservative values aren't even on the table. Like they aren't even on the table. They're not even getting close. Like the line has moved so far left. I don't know which side is left for you guys, but it's moved so far left that the GOP has also moved left. You have to be aware of that. Like the GOP has also moved left so that the people who aren't even voting, who are like, oh, I'm on the middle. No. Like if you move it 10 years back, those people who say they're on the middle, they would have been fully DNC. Like fully DNC. And what you'll notice is that those people who say that they're GOP, but they're voting on the side of the Democrats, you'll notice that the press gives them a ton of coverage and gives them a ton of reasons why this bill doesn't work, or the reasons why this bill doesn't work. And what they'll say is like, well, my voters say like vote with the president, and my voters say like vote with the president. But I also want to do, no, like it's just they're being a mouthpiece for this 1% that they're voting with. And what you need to understand is that like there's us voters at home, and then there's what they have to deal with as lobby with at DC. Like they don't live here at home, they live in DC. And in DC, all that's in DC is lobbyists. There's this amazing movie, and I'll try and link it below. But there's an amazing movie, and it had Cher in it. It was like made in the 80s, and it had Dennis Quaid, not Dennis Quaid, but it had, anyway, but he played a lobbyist in it, and he's trying to solve a murder or whatever. But basically you see how lobbyists work, and they literally wait outside the chamber where laws are decided. So every time they're not in chamber, they're outside meeting with lobbyists. Like that's the voice that's in their head at all time are lobbyists. And guess who the lobbyists are? Do you think the lobbyists are the conservative voices? The conservatives don't have money. Like the laws have moved so far this way. You saw it like the Forbes top 400. Like it is Google, it's Verizon, it's Amazon. They're the ones with the money. That's why net neutrality, which would have saved us, the consumer, a ton of money, it would have cut our internet bills way down. That's why they were like, oh, we can't figure it out. We just can't figure it out. No, all the lobbyists were grouped around a thing. There were like a group of lobbyists around every single congressperson trying to get them to vote against their voters' best interests. And you have to keep that in mind. And that's worked. It's really worked because the 1% has so much money and just funds it. But you have to understand that we need, like, We need new blood in there. And so I really think that all the things that they've been saying for this whole year and like putting all these things in all these marches, like a march every other weekend and just flooding our headlines, what it's done is just protected us from ever thinking voting. Like pay attention to our primaries and pay attention to like who, like we've been worrying about the fall, and the fall, it's not about like GOP versus DNC. It's about the fact that the GOP has turned DNC. Like the GOP has turned DNC. Yes, it needs to be GOP because the GOP has prevented us from going full communist. Great. But it's been letting us go slowly this way. Let me point it out to you. Who's been getting arrested in America? Who, with the GOP Congress, who has allowed people, the IRS is still investigating people. Let me tell you this, Dinesh D'Souza, excellent example. Dinesh D'Souza, yes, he got caught by campaign finance law, which I've been learning a lot about campaign finance law. Those laws shouldn't exist. Amazing. But he didn't even get charged with corruption, right? And he says, fine, jail, whatever. But nobody's gone to jail. Nobody's gone to jail for what he did. But here's the worst thing. Nobody turned him in. Do you know how they caught him? The FBI was tracking his bank account. Because he was doing political movies and releasing things on the Democrats, the FBI and the IRS were watching him. That's straight out of communism. And that's with our GOP Congress? I think that the press has just been detracting us from getting new GOP, from running new candidates, trying to find new candidates, trying to put them in, to fund them. That's where all of our attention should be right now. Our attention should not be on the left. This is what happens when we bother reading left papers, reading what they say, reading what they're thinking, anything like that. We stop focusing on our own party. When we focus on this party, because it's our part, this is what we've got. It's the only place that's going to save us. It's the only place that's going to save us. People are like, oh, POTUS or whatever. Oh, POTUS. Like, he's not a real Republican. Well, they forced us into a two-party system. He says he runs for Americans. Well, the household income has gone up by 3%. But not without a fight. We own both Congresses, but it still took a fight. Why do you think that is? Like so what I'm saying is like, I've looked at the calendar and the primaries are coming up and you've got to find out who is in your town and find out who is in the seat that you had, who the incumbent is. Find out if they've been in for a long time. If they've been in for a long time, they probably need to go. I can almost guarantee you. But don't do it on that alone. Don't do it on that alone. Look up their voting record. Like, we know McCain's got to go. We know Susan Collins has got to go. We know Kevin McCarthy's got to go. And we know Murkowski's got to go. Murkowski's definitely got to go. You should see the stuff. You should see the stuff she puts her voters through. It's absolutely unbelievable. And the thing is when they get in, they were like, it's the first write-in ever to win in South Carolina. And I was just like, gee, voting fraud. That is like the DNC specialty. And I can't imagine why the Democrats are fighting voting fraud things in all of these states. Because write-ins, you know what I mean? And the GOP should be out there saying, yeah, we need these laws. Because we should be able to just prevent a driver's license or any kind of ID. Any kind of ID. We have to do it to go almost everywhere. Shouldn't be a big deal. Like, even movie theaters are starting to ask for it. You know what I mean? So, all right. So especially when, I will link it right here, but especially when, did you guys see the latest thing? There are 3.5 million more people registered to vote than there are people. There's the video. 3.5 million more people registered to vote than there are people alive. And where's the GOP screaming that from the rooftops? Now, I know that the DNC keeps a lot of their mouths shut. I know that. I get it. I know things behind the scenes. The people who are real, like the things that they go through, like for those of you like Dinesh D'Souza, like he's only going through a little bit. Students go through a lot. There are people who are innocent that are arrested. Plenty of people across the nation are innocent and arrested or fired, totally fired and innocent, losing their jobs all across the nation. Imagine if you are actually holding your ground in Congress, what they do to you. The things that they are doing, you have no idea. But you can see that in their voting record, right? So I'll try and attach another picture, but it's in my Twitter. I posted it today, but I'm going to read off to you like the dates. I know we already lost some primaries, and we can't help that, but we can help the primaries that are coming. We can't help the primaries because the most important vote this year will be the primary vote. Like that will be the most important vote. It's going to be the most important vote. Because it doesn't matter if we have a GOP. It doesn't matter if we don't have a clean one. If we don't have one that isn't bought. Like, it's the most important vote. All right, so, and of course, the voting thing doesn't list it by date. Can't imagine why that is. Like, will not list it by date. I'm like, it's amazing. And it wouldn't let me, I tried to look up the dates. Google wouldn't let me do, it just was amazing. Like, they don't want us to find it. So anyway, so Alabama. You are June 5th. June 5th, and there's another one, I believe, on July 17th. Get in there. By the way, if you guys aren't already registered to vote, you need to get registered to vote. And you know you have to register to vote for GOP. But I would recommend voting as an independent, or registering as an independent. It's just so many states won't let you register independent. Like, when I can, I vote. When I can, I register as an independent. Like when I've lived in a state that allows independent, I register as an independent. Does that make sense? But so I would register as an independent. And then when you have to register as GOP, then clean up the rest of your voting record. I said this on Twitter. Go. That's the number one way that they are getting votes. Like that's the number one way voter fraud is happening is that they are using your name in the states where you were before. Because you know what happened? George Soros, remember how I posted that story today of how he's funding judges? Those judges that he funded, like in Colorado and stuff like that, those federal judges are striking down laws that say, remember how they used to mail us the postcards that said, do you still live here? Can we take your name off? And you would send it back and say, yeah, take our name off. Yeah, the Democrats said that violated people's rights and would encourage them not to vote. Nope, that's a way for them. That's a way for them to commit fraud. And so like one state did a poll and found out that a third of the people in their state had voted 3 times. Can bet you those people didn't know it. They had voted in 3 other, no, that was it. And their people had voted in an average of 3 other states. Like your name is, if you are not in another state, your name is being used. I guarantee you. So you have to clean up your vote. That's what I did last year. When I found about voting fraud, I cleaned up my voting record and I had to go to every single county and I had to make sure they removed it. So you need to do that. You need to do that and sign up for your polling place. And I was telling all of you to get signed up for your polling place in fall. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, like, no, get signed up for your primary. Like, get signed up for your primary. Guard it for your primary because they are going to try to get in the GOP candidate that they are funding or they have bought or whatever that votes in their favor. Like, that is so important. And then what else was I going to say about, oh, and now I also said something in my Twitter feed. I was like, go ahead and lie and say you're Democrat if you are switching over to be a GOP, because they're going to ask you, they're going to break the law and say some polling places who are totally run by Democrats, some polling places are going to break the law and be like, well, exactly what party are you? And you are switching over most likely, or you don't want to say or whatever. Just say like, well, I've voted Democrat all my life. What do you think? Like, because I saw Jordan Peterson's book said, don't lie, like whatever. So if you feel like you can't lie and you need to stick by that rule, like just be like, I voted for Barack Obama. Hello. What do you think? Like there's ways to get around it without lying. I remember that was the first thing. It was really funny how I learned that. So It's not from the place that you would think, ever. All right, so, but there are ways to do it without lying. Does that make sense? Like, I've been a Democrat all my life. You know, or be like, the New York Times is my favorite paper. Or like, I subscribed to the New York Times for 20 years. Come on. Things like that. Easy ways to get around it without lying. If you're like a Jordan Peterson fan, like I can't lie. So, you know. All right. So Alabama, June 5th and July 17th. So Alaska, August 24th. Alaska, you've got to get your GOP lady out. I have looked into her record. Oh my God, Alaska. And I have visited you. I have visited you, Alaska, your state. Your state, Alaska. I love Alaska. And let me tell you, your lady, the things she doing. Oh my gosh. And the papers that are writing, like I'm telling you, I can tell you who her backers are. And it ain't you. It ain't you. She ain't fighting for you. You gotta get your new start. And if you don't have someone to run against her, now's the time to find someone. Now's the time, Alaska. Now's the time. So Arizona, August 28th. I think you have someone, Arizona. Actually, you have a lady running. She's the one. I like her. She's got good spunk because she's already out there and she's like, I am done with McCain. And you notice that he said he was going to retire until she came out. And then he was suddenly like, I'm going to run again. And I was like, you can bet all that GNC was like, no, we don't like her. That is a good sign about her, you guys. So go for her. And here's the thing, you guys. If you're like, oh, they have so much money, they're flying, they're sending it to all the houses. What you do, here's how you promote it. You make the signs or you print up signs and you go to all the telephone poles and you put it on every telephone pole. Because, yeah, people get in the mail, but then they see the mail once and then it goes away and it goes in the trash. But telephone poles, people drive every single day. You telephone pole it. Now, they have people in the DNC that will go down and tear it down. But what you do is you just make sure, like every single weekend, you just go boom, 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 and you make sure you put them up again and review wherever you put it. And you just have, like, you map it out. You have a map. Because remember, the Democrats were like, we have every zip code nailed down. Like, they have a campaign going in every zip code. Well, you just map out the neighborhoods and you just make sure, boom, 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 you have your candidate nailed down on every single telephone pole. That's the way you do it. Like it doesn't have to be signs in the yard. It can just be up on the telephone poles and stuff like that. Does that make sense? Like that's the way to do it is to get the traffic going. Like it's the traffic is that's the thing that you want. You want eyeballs on traffic. You want people when they're driving by to see it and things like freeways and stuff like hang it up on the freeway so that people see it. It's name recognition. So it's not it can be mail as well. Like you want things in the mail, but but you want like well done things, but you want it up on the telephone poles where people drive by and stuff like that and in the neighborhoods and things like that. So, all right. So that's Arizona. Arkansas, May 22nd already happened, but you do have June 19th. Arkansas, June 19th. California, June 5th. I love John Cox. For so many reasons. So many reasons, John Cox. So many reasons. I mean, besides the fact that Twitter refuses to verify, besides the fact that the Wall Street Journal did such a big hit piece, that the hit piece was actually there are going to be no Republican governor candidates in California. Like literally there won't be any. There's no one running in California for the RNC. So like that means no one will go to the primaries. Can you believe that? That is how bad of a hit piece it was. The second thing is that in the hit piece, now that Kevin McCarthy's name is mud, they attached Kevin McCarthy's name like every third line. It was like Kevin McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy from Bakersfield, Kevin McCarthy. Even though it was POTUS who actually put him up there, right? I mean, besides the fact that on his Twitter page, they actually put the Democratic candidate who is verified. I mean, there's just so many reasons why, to the fact that like they have bombed his website. I mean, I can't even begin to list this. So anyway, and stuff, and there's stuff behind the scenes like yes. Oh, and the fact that he's going against Agenda 21, like he's actually saying it out loud. Like he's actually doing it. Like he's going after the bullet train in California. California was already broke and everyone was like, why? Why is California doing a bullet train? and tearing up what beautiful countryside we have left and ripping it to shreds. Like tearing it up. Why are they doing that and making us more broke? We were already super broke and you're ripping it up for a bullet train. We already have a train that goes down. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, and it was just, we all felt like there was just something going on that we didn't understand. Like, even like everybody was just like he just said, we're doing it. And he just made it happen. Like, we didn't vote on it. And this guy's just like, it's ending. And the bullet train is Agenda 21. And he's just like, I'm taking it down. And I was like, I didn't even think you could stop it. I didn't think it was possible. And he is that brazen. I like this guy for so many reasons. So I just don't normally like politicians that much. But anyone who like openly goes after Agenda 21, like that takes some balls. Which, by the way, Agenda 21 in your primaries, you might actually be asked to vote on something. It turns out that all Agenda 21 things are taxpayer programs. They don't call it Agenda 21 in your town. They run it as Future 2020. Like Seattle passed everything Agenda 21. That's why they had to do a rich tax, because they passed everything Agenda 21. That's why they had to do the rich tax, $500 per person. Because all the Agenda 21 laws, everyone passed them because they were like, oh, Future 2020, America Now, oh, this, and they made it sound so great. So the taxpayers went and did it, and now they're broke, and now they have to do another tax on everybody. And the city's just broke, and now everyone's homeless in Seattle. Like, it's homeless. There's tent cities everywhere. Tent cities in the middle of San Diego. Do you know how prosperous San Diego used to be? There didn't used to be any homeless in San Diego. Like, there were no inner cities in San Diego, and now there's a tent city in San Diego. I remember when I left, there was just a tent city in Fresno. That was new. Like, when I was growing up, there were no tent cities in Fresno. Now there's a tent city in every single city in California, even the most prosperous. And you can bet that's because they were stupid enough. They weren't told it was Agenda 21. They were told it was something prosperous for their future. It's terrible. So learn to find out, like, what's Agenda 21 on your ballot in the primaries. It'll be called something like Future 2020. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can attach it here. I'm going to have it in my Twitter feed. But I even found Agenda 21. You know how it's global? I even found the page in the Arab News. If you go to arabnews.com or arabnews.org, they actually have a page that goes like Future 2030. And I was like, they're being bold about it. Like, they're like, for the Arab world, Agenda 21 for the Arab world. I mean, it's literally the global government. It's incredible. And they use the same slogan, 2030, or America Now, or Freedom Now, or da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. That's how you'll know it. So look it up. All right, so it's going to take forever to get through this, but I hope you guys are being entertained. So, but it's the most important thing I will ever do. So, all right, so here we go. Colorado, June 26th. Colorado, save yourselves, man. Did you know? Colorado, like, come here, Colorado. By the UN's plan in Agenda 21, Colorado, you're supposed to be the capital of the U.S. That's why you've had all those new building permits, and that's why there have been so many protests in your town. That's why the DNC and Soros has sent so many things. That's why the downtown's been going crazy. That's why you've been developing so quickly. That's why they've been that's why you've changed so rapidly. That's why you're not the town you were anymore. They are developing you into a megacity, into the metropolis that all the trains are supposed to go to. If you don't get a Republican governor, you have a big job ahead of you, Colorado, but you can do it. But Colorado, there are some groups in there, like there are supposed to be some major conservative groups in Colorado. And I know that Soros has been, the first thing that Soros went after? He went after the churches first. He funded the churches first. The churches changed first in this country. And that's why the being nice thing, you know why the being nice thing happened? I found out today by reading the Gulag Archipelago. Yeah, if you read the Gulag Archipelago, you'll find out his first chapter is a big, long lament about being nice. Because that's how they got railroaded over. He called themselves rabbits. Little rabbits who never protested. Just read the first chapter and you'll find out why he funded the churches and told them all to be nice, meek, and mild, and buried the other passages of the Bible that said to stand and fight evil. Connecticut, August 14th. Connecticut, your sanctuary state, and you've got that like JFK copycat they got. Have you seen what he's done to your state? Do you remember that little video I posted? Oh, Connecticut, if you knew what was going through. Do you know, Connecticut, that you're the one that they're filtering, like, the drugs that are coming through all of New England? That's you, Connecticut. You are the pipeline. You're the pipeline. This is the primary to change all that. You need to get a new governor in. You need to get new GOP candidates in. You need to change it. I don't care if you guys are traditionally blue. Who cares? Blue isn't blue anymore. Blue is now Stalin. I mean, it's just been changed. So we have to change. You know what I mean? Things have changed. So we have to change with it. You know what I mean? So don't forget there was a time like everyone voted for Reagan. Don't forget that Connecticut once voted for Reagan. Don't forget that. You can do it again. You can vote right again. Alrighty, so Delaware, September 6th. There is time for you, Delaware. Florida, August 28th. Florida, be aware that they are pouring the most money into you. Soros has put the most money into you, and he's pooled Microsoft and Google and Jeff Bezos. They are pouring the most money into you. And the fact that you have more crimes happening in your area, there's a reason for that. They're flooding you with more migrants for the vote. There's a reason for that. So you guys know I'm all for immigration, but I'm just like, get in line. Like Dinesh D'Souza, he had to wait 10 years. I'm just like, get in line. We have a process. We let in more than 1 million people a year. Like, we are like, come on, come on. But legally, the reason they're not doing it that way is because they want the votes. But it is leading to so many deaths. Like, remember, like, there's a reason we have a process. We have a process because there's a whole vetting thing that happens. Like, there's a whole entire vetting. There's a reason there's a line because there's a vetting thing that happens. You know what I mean? People who aren't vetted, then that's when the dangerous things happen. And that is why honor killings, if you don't know what honor killings are, go to DuckDuckGo and Google Florida and honor killings. Like the last time I heard, you had one. Now Florida, you have it all over the place. And underage marriages, all over the place in Florida. And that's since the election. That's because they are flooding you with money. Flooding you with money. They really, really want you. And get Marco Rubio out. What a shill. What a shill. What a shill. I can't wait to see who you get, though, Florida. I've seen your appellate courts. I know your courts have been changed, and I know your appellate courts totally shafted you when the home crisis came by. I know that your appellate courts, they used to be amazing and honorable, and then they flipped, like I've been watching. Like, they're amazing judges, and then they flipped right on you homeowners, and they totally screwed you in the back. Who do you think did that to you? Do you think the Republicans did that to you? No. No, you need to get in some real people. Not some people that are shiny, happy-faced, right? So get yourself a really good one. It sounds like you have some time. Get yourself a good person to run against. Marco, the grin. Like I said, take off the face, take off the grin. If you take off the grin, who do you have left? Can you name me 5 characteristics about him? If you took, like seriously, like if you put a bag over his head and put him in a lineup, and just put a bag over his head, could you name 5 characteristics about him? No, you can't. He's a people pleaser. So he'll please you when he's there, and then he goes to Washington and pleases them. He told you he'd give you an immigration bill. He gave you all the things he'd give you, and he went to Washington and he literally presented a DNC bill. Like, he literally gave them Soros's immigration bill. Soros! Like an EU globalist immigration bill. After running on the opposite campaign promise. That's Marco Rubio for you. Just because he's a people pleaser. He should be a pastor that goes around collecting donations. He would be a great guy that goes around, like, he's a great, or working in an old folks home, and he would be great on the stage. You know what I mean? He'd be great on the Vegas stage. He's great on the Vegas stage. I'm like, what's something where he doesn't con anybody? Great on the Vegas stage. Great on the Vegas stage. He's perfect for that. Perfect. But he should not be serving people. Serving requires sacrifice and standing up on values and not moving when someone tries to convince you of something. It's like remembering the voters when you leave them. That is not his strong suit. No. Like, he likes being comfortable too much. Like, you offer him a pedicure and it's done. You know it. If they offer him a manicure, $10 billion on his hands if they're manicured or not. All right. So, and yeah, that's GOP candidates. You cannot look at manicuring anymore. Oh my God. You got to look for fighters now. You got to look for fighters. Think we're back in the Civil War era. Think about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was not manicured. Like, all the people that you guys are so proud of in the past, go look up shots of them. Were any of them manicured? Go look at pictures of them. Did any of them look shiny and polished? That's how the DNC people looked. Like, what are you voting on? Oi. You're not looking for an Instagram photo. You're looking for a fighter. Ugh. All right. Georgia, May 22nd. Shoot, I think I'm too late. But July 24th, you have another one, July 24th. Hawaii and Georgia, like, make sure you don't turn DNC, man. Because you're one of the cities that's doing well. Like, make sure. I think I could be getting you switched around. I love visiting Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Hawaii, August 11th. It's on a Saturday, so that's easy. No one has any excuses for not being at the polls. Idaho, May 15th. We missed it. I'm so sorry, Idaho. Especially with the schmuck you have in there who totally changed you into Agenda 21 haven. All the changes that they praise are Agenda 21. Completely. Now you look like California and the rest of the world. You look like South Africa and Europe and everywhere else. The rest of the world. You look like Shanghai and Australia. Congratulations. Because you've got a young guy who talked great and had money behind him, and he instilled Agenda 21. They said it was like urban redevelopment, but it wasn't. It was the UN's big money. Got to get him out of there. Illinois already happened. Indiana already happened. Iowa, June 5th, just like California, Iowa. All right. Kansas, August 2nd, August 7th. I've been hearing a lot about, Kansas is that guy. I think no, is that Arkansas? Maybe it's Arkansas. One's with a K. Ooh, Arkansas or Kansas. One of those is that guy from Facebook. Ooh, such a shill, and I really don't like him. I really don't like what he did. You guys remember? Oh, what a shill. Oh, what a shill. Yeah, look up your senators' questions on Facebook and see what they did. See if they were like, or if they were like, Ted Cruz that at least asked some hard questions. And if it was a DNC person that asked a hard question, be like, why aren't you switching? Why aren't you switching parties? Unless they voted with the RNC on everything and like voted with the tax bill and voted with this. But no, like they need a switch. It's time because now they know. They know they are doing Lenin stuff. And not only that, but they know that conservatives are going to jail. To stand with the DNC is unexcusable. Unexcusable. Alrighty. Let's see here. So Kansas, August 7th. Kentucky, May 22nd. I think it already happened. Maybe it's Kentucky. That's a... Sorry, it's K's. Maybe it's because I'm a K. I'm not that great. It was a while ago, the video. I apologize. I'm not that good at politics. I didn't say that I'm a political... You guys, I'm 3 months in. What do you want me to do? Louisiana, November 6th and December 8th? Oh, maybe it's November 6th. That's your primary date. And then you vote right away on December 8th, which means that Arkansas, you vote May 22nd, and then your finals on June 19th. And Alabama, your previews on June 5th, and then your finals on July 17th. Oh, you have like a preview and then a runoff. All right, well, I'll do the link for this site down below, but you guys know when your dates are. Okay, so I better move along or this is going to take forever. So, Maine, June 12th. Maine, you need to get someone new. You know you need to get someone new, Maine. You know what's going on in Maine. You know what's going on in Maine. And your person, I think your person's the furthest one over to the DNC. They're running as a Republican, but they are literally a DNC member. Like, literally. They are not a Republican at all. You're wasting your Republican vote with that person. Like, what a wasted vote. What a wasted vote. I'm sure you thought like, oh, I want to vote with the president. No, you need a new candidate in there, Maine. Oh my gosh. There's like 2 people hanging all the way out with the DNC, and that's Maine and that's Alaska. And McCain, we already know McCain needs to go, and he's in a column with a bunch of other people. I was like, this is bad. This is so bad. Maryland, June 26th. Massachusetts, September 4th. Massachusetts, you got problems. You got big problems. There's no reason that you should still have an inner city. No reason you should still have an inner city. No reason. No reason. Your own officials call it a glorified ghetto. What the hell? You're like the birthplace of America. I don't have any words. That's your own freaking fault. It is time. Oh, you're smarter than that. You are smarter and you are fighters. You are fighters. You've done it. You've done it the other way. It's time. Oh my gosh. And Warren? Oh my gosh. Don't even, oh, Warren, that's right. Warren's out of there. Oh my gosh. She's such bad juju. Oh, you gotta get rid of Warren. Oh God, you gotta get rid of Warren. You gotta get rid of Warren. Okay. I forgot that some of these places are actually DNC. Oh God, you gotta get rid of Warren. You gotta get rid of Warren. You have no idea. Oh God, okay. But just, okay. Michigan, August 7th. Minnesota. Putting in Keith Ellison. Like Minnesota's history with the Muslim Brotherhood. What is going on over there? What's going on? Minnesota nice. Please, everyone in Minnesota needs to read The Gulag Archipelago. Nobel Prize winning. That's about as nice as you can get. The Nobel Peace Prize winning by Solzhenitsyn. Can't say his name. Can't say his name. Nobel Peace Prize winning book. Please read it. Even, I know it's a long book, so just read the first chapter. Read the first chapter, please. Just read the first chapter. And you'll understand why they went after you first. Why they started with you first. Mississippi, June 5th. So you're coming up. Missouri, August 7th. Montana, June 5th. Nebraska, May 15th. Nevada, June 12th. New Hampshire, September 11th. What a day. What an awful day. What is wrong with New Hampshire? Like, up is down and down is up with them. Like, they have, like, some of the worst sexual like, their men refuse to go to sexual harassment training. Do you know what they did for sexual harassment training day? They tweeted out sexual harassment. They actually tweeted out harassing words. They actually, like, made threats on Twitter. Like, I don't know what is going on. And, oh, that's right. And their opioid crisis is like the worst in the nation. I got dirt on New Hampshire. That's right. Let me tell you this one. Let me tell you this one. Okay, let me give you a piece of dirt just as a break. New Hampshire has the worst opioid crisis in America. Do you know what they did? The DNC run state of New Hampshire. I bet they didn't tell their constituents this. I just have this feeling, New Hampshire. I just have this feeling that you New Hampshireans don't know this little fact. Did you know that all the opioid prescriptions in New Hampshire, yeah, they don't go to the pharmacy? And no, they require people for safety reasons the sick people, to go pick them up and sign for them. Oh, but it doesn't even have to be the person. Anyone can go get the prescription and pick it up at the doctor's office. Just go pick up the script. They require for safety that the script go out into the public and not to the pharmacy. All other prescriptions in the whole wide world, everyone, we all know, all of us who get sick, I've never heard of this in my life. I about fell out of my seat at the hospital. I was just like, what the hell are you talking about? I thought that would be illegal. I literally thought that would be illegal. But like you guys know, your doctor types in a prescription, it goes electronically to the pharmacy, you go to the pharmacy, and you pick it up. That's the way it works. Okay. Now, other places, when the opioid crisis got bad, like they some people do scripts, like some people did scripts, but I remember when the opioid crisis got bad, the first thing that went electronically, there were states, even in California, I remember, that's right, when the opioid crisis got bad in California, the first thing California did was start requiring that scripts go by electronic so that there was no out into the community. I get to the East Coast and I'm like doing my whole thing or whatever, and I'm at one of the hospitals one day and there's a lady from New Hampshire. And she's like, yeah. And I'm just like, that's DNC for you. That's DNC. I just can't imagine why requiring the opposite of having it go through, but requiring that the prescriptions go out into the community before ever going to the pharmacy. I can't imagine how that would make it the worst opioid crisis in America. Oh, and she also said they have the least amount of addiction treatment centers in America per capita. Nice, New Hampshire. Nice. You're doing a great job with your DNC. Keep voting for them. Keep voting for them. Get them out. That was called sarcasm. Like switch. We've been in the opioid crisis for 10 years now, and they just keep voting the DNC in. And I'm just like, that state, I don't understand. That really blows my mind. Because it's a small state. And I'm like, they must know. Kind of like Vermont with Bernie Sanders. Like, maybe it's just small and like, maybe they don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's easy to snow. I don't know. Maybe they don't know. I don't know. When I'm healthy, I'll go up there and I'll start interviewing. I'll be like, tell me. Tell me why. All right. New Jersey, June 5th. New Mexico, June 5th. Everyone's June 5th. New York, September 13th. North Carolina, May 8th. May 8th is gone. North Dakota, love. All right, I love the Dakotas. Oh, I have to do a thing on my road trip. Oh, I love them. There's so much to see. There's so much. I know it sounds crazy, but there's so much to see. There's so much to see. 1880 Town, shout out 1880 Town. What? All right. 1880 Town is my jam. All right. That's South Dakota. Ohio, you're gone. Sorry, Ohio. I'm so sorry I let you down. I let them distract me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oklahoma, June 26th. So we're safe on Oklahoma. We can get there. Oregon, it's gone. I'm sorry. Pennsylvania, I heard about on May 15th, and I tweeted as much as I could on May 15th. Rhode Island, September 12th. That's a Wednesday. South Carolina, June 12th. So we got time in South Carolina. You know what you need to do. South Carolina, you got to get, Lindsey Graham's got to get out of there, you guys. God, I hope you have a running candidate. Somebody get on that ticket if you don't. Get a businessman and get him on there. Just kick him up. Seriously. And then just start flying and doing the neighborhoods and be like, you got to get him out there. Warren Buffett, who only funds liberals, funds Lindsey Graham. What do you think that's for? That is not good. South Dakota, June 5th, got time. Tennessee, August 2nd, got time. Texas, March 6th and May 22nd. I thought Texas hadn't happened yet. Oh, I guess Cruz made it through the primaries, so now it's between him and the... All right, Utah, June 26th. Yeah, they're even running a DNC candidate and think, like, what was Ruben doing putting a DNC candidate on his show? Like, why would you put, like, Stalin on your show? I don't understand that. That's like inviting like communist China and being like, come and sit on my show. I love Ruben. I'm sorry. I give him so much crap, but that's because I watch him. You know what I mean? Like, that's because I watch you, sweetie. It's because I watch you. But just like, I know you're trying to be like, show all sides, but show all sides of like reason. Like, don't give like communism like you. But that's just my it's your show. It's just my personal opinion. But think of it this way. The DNC has a voice 24/7 in our ears. That's all we hear. We go to the gas station, they're in our ears. We go into a hotel, they are in the newspapers. We can't escape them. Like, we can't get away from them. When we come to your show, like it's we're just trying to get away. And then we come to your show and we get them again. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, great. Another Soros-backed candidate. Another Amazon-backed candidate. Thank you. Like it just makes you want to cry. Like, just let us get out. Like, just once. Like, please? Like, just please? Like, you have real estate on your hour. Like, remember why you left the Young Turks. Like, you know, don't give them more. Look what they've done. Remember, she's running for the party that's putting conservatives in jail. You're like, hey, Red Army, come sit on my couch. What the hell? I'm so much meaner when I'm like sitting in my living room. I would never say that in person. Would I? Is that why my friends are friends with me? They said they love it when I yell. All right. I apologize. I'm sorry. It's just, I missed all these dates because I listened to them. Well, not because I don't listen to them, but because you guys listen to them, and only them, and so you talked about their topics instead of talking about the GOP, and so we missed it. You know, I watched you guys, and then you guys only talk about what they talk about, and if that's the same thing, we wag the dog. Like, if we only talk about what they talk about, we are still following the DNC. They are still the lead party. Thank you for the Alex Epstein. Like, thank you. Thank you so, so much. And thank you for Larry Ellers. You know I love you. I'm sorry. I feel so bad. Okay, I should move on. But I just feel bad for yelling because I feel like I've yelled at you twice this week, and that's mean because I love Ruben. I love you. So, yeah. All right. Utah, June 26th. Vermont, August 14th. It's your chance to get Bernie Sanders out. Because now you know what socialism leads to. You find out that he's the reason, like, what he wants left to the deaths of, like, 10 times more people than Hitler. Even cultural socialism. Go ahead and read it. Go ahead, Vermont. You go ahead and you read the Gulag Archipelago and you find out what Bernie Sanders wants leads to. And you find out what his little party does. And you find out how this is the number one reason, Vermont, to vote against Bernie Sanders. Well, I guess you're voting for your Republican candidate, so that's the primary, so never mind. Okay, but Vermont, for those of you who are actually Democrats that are still thinking about voting Democrat, like, seriously, like, he just raged against the 1% when he knew the 1% actually rules the DNC party. Like, that makes him worse than all of them. Like, it almost makes him worse than Hillary, because all of those people would have gone the other way. That's pretty low. In my humble opinion. Virginia, June 12th. You've got time, Virginia. Get out from under them. Get out. No more plantation. That wonderful, I think I have room. Did you know that the inner cities meet the 5 plantation? There was a book or an essay written on the 5 characteristics of plantations, slave plantations. And the inner cities actually meet those requirements. Now, I think that DNC racism shows up in other ways. I still think the history of the Democrats is racist. I think it's still prevalent in other ways. Like, if someone had asked me the same question, I would have answered it differently. I think it actually shows up in other ways. But this answer was brilliant. I didn't know this. This is other ways. But the inner cities actually match the 5 characteristics of the plantation. So I'll attach it right here. So it was wonderful by Dinesh D'Souza. I love that. So I think I'm watching him a lot lately because I'm like, yes, someone who's like actually saying the things I am. No wonder they kept him away from me. So it's so weird because I'm finally like, oh, I made that point on Twitter. And oh, I made that point on Twitter. And oh, that fills in my research here. And oh, it's so nice to have like somebody else making the same arguments. It's very, 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 very nice. And he's not like, no one else is doing, oh, my meds, sorry. Okay, I better go soon. But that's okay because I'm almost at the end. So, but it does make him a renegade in the conservative party. People actually have to ask him, so what are you? Are you a conservative? And he has to answer that question. So I'm like, yeah, he's not. He doesn't. So it's not apparent because he is saying things that they don't normally say. Though apparently he was married by Ted Cruz's dad. And I was like, what? Like, that really just, I was like, you gotta be joking. Like, I was just like, oh, you got married by a politician's dad? Like, that crushed me. But I don't know any of them, so I can't say anything. But it did kind of make me want to cry. So for those of you who knew that, I apologize. Like, I didn't know that before I started sharing him. So I am so sorry. You guys know, like, if you look at our words, like, we make a lot of the same arguments. But I am an independent, so, well, not a lot of the same arguments, but it's just there are arguments that he makes that I actually make. I like his research. His research comes to the same conclusions that my research has come to. There you go. He's done different research. I've done different research, but the research has both come to the same conclusions. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. And then we both talk about strategy. We both ask you guys to be good strategists. I'm clearly tired. It's clearly time for my meds. I apologize. I'm getting warm and I've gone through 50 states. So I apologize. All right. Virginia, June 12th. Please don't let it sway your vote. Washington, August 7th. Washington, save yourselves. Oh, God, you probably hate me because I'm from California. I'm sorry, Washington. I'm so sorry. I know. You guys ran us over a lot when we were in California. We got a lot of hate in California. I know, I remember. You gave us the bird a lot. I'm sorry. I apologize. But we didn't move there. We were just visiting a few times. That's it. So please don't hate me. Please listen. Open mind. But I don't tell anyone to move to you. I tell them all, stay away from Washington. I'm like, if you're going to move out east. Like, I know they're all moving to you, and I'm like, don't do it. Don't move to Washington. Like, I'm very good about that. I'm very good. I'm like, they don't want you there. Don't go there. I'm very good. So, but you're beautiful. Oh my gosh. And the Hoh National Rainforest. I love it. I love it. So, West Virginia, already gone. Wisconsin, August 14th. And Wyoming. You've probably been dying for me to say this, Wyoming. I love Wyoming. Oh, Wyoming, Yellowstone, August 21st. We still have time for you. Wyoming, probably one of my favorite states of all time. And you have 80-mile-per-hour winds and try to blow us off the road. And I love it anyways. I love it. I go out there and we're the only ones that aren't wearing jeans on your roads. And you guys look at us like we're crazy. And I love Little America. We love staying at Little America. And we danced in that bar up in the top of, I think it's not Billings, but south of Billings, like at the top of Yellowstone. And there's this, where you can dance, there's this bar right at the top of the hill at the north entrance of Yellowstone. And there's this like little country bar. And it has this beautiful, like, you could play pool at the top of it, but then there's like a guy, a bouncer that's taking money. But then you go down these steps all the way down, and then there's like this basement, and it's just cement. Oh my gosh, with a band and just like a square floor. Oh, we just danced it down there, you guys. We like tore it up, and you guys were so good to us. You guys were, you like, normally places like clear the floor and stuff when we dance. You guys didn't. You just like, you like clapped a little and then you just kept cheering. And you were just like, you guys were so welcoming. You like, you let us be, you let us be, like, you just let us enjoy ourselves and just like welcome it. You guys were just so great. We love everyone in Wyoming. You guys are just wonderful. We love Wyoming and stuff like that. Nebraska, I'm sorry, I've only been through like a corner view. Like, I've only been through like, I've been to like, I'm sorry, I should have said something about every one of you. I've been to 48 of you. I suppose I should have said something about every one of you. So, but to the school kids that think that all states are like the state that you were in, or that they are all like totally poverty stricken, like the internet tells you that they are, they're not. Like, every single one is like a wonderland. Like, everyone's like a different ride at Disneyland. Like, that's the amazing thing that's why I did the thing on the popular vote. And I was just like, diversity, because like we went out and we were just like, oh my God, like everything, like this nation, oh my God, like, no, traveling. Cause like before, like when I travel, like hotels, you go to hotel to hotel to hotel, like teaching's one thing, like teaching and consulting, those are hotels. That's not seeing it. Like, that's not seeing it. Traveling the roads, like now I've done like most of the roads in the nation. That's when you really get to see it and you get to meet people. And you know me, I'm a chatty person. I meet everybody. So, yeah, I just, and the Outer Banks. Did you know when, like, schooling in California didn't tell us anything about the Outer Banks? I think I've gone out about that before. But just like, I was like, this is a natural wonder. This is like a natural wonder of the world. I couldn't believe it. And then some guy like had like this thing of like, I couldn't believe it. Like the Huffington Post and everybody. Did you guys see that? I saw somebody, I was like looking at maps for some kind of thumbnail, and I should go for my meds. I will do another thing on the road trip. Go to your primaries. New blood for the GOP. New blood. And if there isn't a new GOP candidate, if you don't have it, tell them we're going to start looking for a new GOP candidate because you didn't vote such and such a way. Like, we're doing it. We're raising the funds. We're finding somebody new. And you start doing it. And hopefully that'll scare the heck out of them enough. Like, just start doing it because they have a few years, and just start doing it. The senators, though, you definitely got to get them out because senators have like 4 years. Screw that, man. Like, get them the heck out. Senators are the most bought. Like, they are the most bought. They are the most bougie. That's why they look the best. That's why they have the shiniest skin. Senators get the most money. Oh, they're so They're so, like, that's why Hillary Clinton didn't go for a representative. She went for senator. She ain't stupid. You know, and she went for senator in New York City, but we know why that is. All right, so if you don't know why that is, like, here, I'll attach that. I think I have one more video left. All right, mwah, I love you guys. Go enjoy your primaries. Go out there and vote. Go staple, staple, staple. Clean up your voting record. And I finally figured it out. So we're going to save the rest of America, and we're not going to be the Gulag Archipelago. I think I said it right. Bye, guys. Peace out. I think I have some videos for you here. Bye.